Hey, I'm Patrick Murphy from Quarter Inch Off here again, and I've been doing a lot of projects outside. So I decided today to take a stab at making my first birdhouse. And what I'm doing here is I got a book, Easy to Build Birdhouses, A Natural Approach by Popular Woodworking. And I'm looking at building a traditional bluebird box. Pretty simple to make. It's a box, bevel at the top. That's about it. So I got cedar picket fences. They're roughly five and a half inches long and about 5/8 inches thick. So I'm going to be using these and try to make a few birdhouses and see what I come up with. So I'm going to start by squaring off the end of the board on the miter station, and then I'll come back out here and draw all my lines for what I need to cut and go from there. Okay, I squared up the end of my board. I did not square up the dog-eared part because I'm going to use this for the bottom of the birdhouse, and you want to cut off the corners just for ventilation anyway. So I'm going to leave that for that piece. So what I marked up here is the left side, the right side, and the front. So I've got 10 1/4, 10 1/4, and 9 3/8 is what they call for. Now, these dimensions in the book are using 3/4 inch wood. Since I'm using something smaller, I'm going to wait for the back and other pieces just because the widths and stuff might be smaller, as well as the roof is supposed to be 8.5 by 10. Obviously, I'm not going to get that out of here. I did buy this beveled cedar siding to use as a roof, so I may try to use that as well and just kind of overlap it. But we'll see. For now, I'm going to cut these pieces up and kind of put it together and see how it looks. Okay, so here's where I am so far. This outside edge was 10 1/4, and then this side was 9 3/8 to match this piece of wood in the front, which will be the front, which is 9 3/8 in the back, but then with a 10 degree slope for the roof. So I tried putting the miter saw on 10 degrees to get the same level, and it's not 10 degrees, so I'm not exactly sure what's going on there. And then, oh wait, look, this side looks a lot smaller. So in this book, they recommend having vents at the top for the heat to escape, but since this board will slide out this way, you want it actually a little lower than the roof when the roof is nailed on. So the new roof will be nailed onto this piece, in the back. This will be free so that it can swing out. So I made it 1/4 inch lower, so that will allow ventilation as well as the ventilation in the floor. Now I don't know if that's too big, too small. I may drill a few holes in there too just to give it some ventilation for stuff to drop out of the bottom. Hopefully not the chicks, but we'll see. So I can pretty much nail this together in the bottom. I want to make the back first and then drill the hole here in the front. So, okay, so here we have the top. The box is laying down. The hole for them to go in will be here. I did my 10 degree cut here on the table saw so that this is all even. What I'm trying to determine is how long I want to make it. Now, the reason for that is I need something to screw in down here wherever I'm putting this. So I want to make sure that there's room for that. The bottom will go inside here, so really anything down here, I should be able to do that. And I think if I do something like that, that should work fine to give me enough to screw something in here. And then I'm guessing screw a hole in the top. So I'm not liking that, but I got no choice. It'd be nice if this extended up and then you screw the top in there and there, because I don't think I may be able to get a long bit in here to screw a screw in the back of there. We'll see, because the top has to be sloped. So yeah, I'm not sure I like this design, but I'll build it. All right, so I'm just going to nail this together with a nail gun just to get it, and then I'll screw some screws in. But I want to just at least get this together. top on here. Nothing came out there. Flip this over. Show that edge is the important one to get lined up. And of course I missed. Whew. That's why you measure things. Missed twice. Alright, I gotta fix that. Okay, so I got the back put on. I nailed it to just the one side. So the way this will work, this side is nailed front and back. This side, the left side of the house, needs to pivot out. So to do that, you drive a nail in the front and a nail in the back so that this can pivot. Now the key here for this side, again, I wanted to leave this gap up here, so it's to line it up close to the bottom. And these holes in the bottom will allow you to stick your finger in and pull it out. So I just drew a straight line across here. Now I'll pound a nail in there to get that straight. And I'm gonna drill a hole first. I've learned my lessons. Okay, I got this side panel on. It's pretty tight, which is what I want, but the door hinges open like it's supposed to. I drilled some holes in the bottom just for more ventilation, more drainage. I drilled some holes here. I don't know what I'm going to be able to do on a tree or wherever I'm going to put this, so I did 2 on the sides, 1 in the middle. I also, while I had this open, I drilled a hole in the back. So now I need to drill a 1.5 inch hole. Which I've got chucked up already. 6.5 inches up in the middle of the board. So that's what I've got marked there, so I'm going to drill that now. Guess it's time to get some new ones. These are about 30 years old. There we go. Okay, there we go. Last thing to do is figure out a roof. So I'm going to go figure that out and I will get right back. Okay, there we have it, the finished birdhouse. So I just used a piece of this cedar siding, put it on there. I did an overhang 1.5 inches on either side just to, I don't know, weatherproof it a little bit more. Overhang the top or the front and the back a little bit too. So there we go. I will go put this on a tree and see how well it does. But my very first birdhouse. I might sand the pencil line off, but I don't think they're going to care too much. This is cedar again, so I'm not going to finish it. I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to see how the nails just hold up. I'm not going to put any screws in it. Maybe I'll put some deck screws in it later. But for now, I'll just keep it that way. Hey everybody, there we go. My first bluebird house. Mounted about 6 feet off the ground there. So I got my feeder here. Got another feeder back there for Orioles. Another feeder over there. Birdhouse up there that's being used. This one's never being used. Previous owners had that. So there's my first one. I'll put it here and see if anything uses it. But there we go. We'll see how well it goes. I did forget to mention that I did add another little nail here as a lock just to keep it. There we go. So those act as a hinge, and then got our lock there. So there we go.